Welcome back to Mindful Minis, Episode 2. Today's episode is Observing Thoughts. During this episode, our goals include learning a practical way to observe our thoughts while acknowledging common hardships when practicing this skill, and being able to recognize emotions attached to the different thoughts, and always explaining why this tool can be helpful in our everyday lives. Some things to remember before we get started. Let's be present in this moment. Give patience to yourself and accept kindness while going through this practice. An essential component to getting our minds ready for this skill is breathing. So here I encourage you to take a deep breath in, hold it, and release. Do this as many times as you need throughout this skill. One last thing before we get started. Let's open up that mindfulness bag of goodies and make sure we have our judge-free goggles on, that we are able to express our imagination similar to the magic school bus, and always enjoy the journey. Great, let's get started. Go ahead and close your eyes. Get into a comfortable position. Are you ready? Place yourself on a bench. Sitting next to you is a treat of your desire. In front of you is a winding road with cars passing. You see the cars get closer to you and then pass on. Closer to you and pass on. As this happens, you recognize the shapes and colors and all the unique characters of every single car that passes. Now replace these cars with your thoughts and watch as they come and go. As your thought cars pass, what emotions and characteristics are connected to each one? You don't have to dive in deeper. Just simply acknowledge and let them pass. Sometimes this skill is easier to dive into than others. For myself, I'm going to address some common things that my mind sees instead of this easy, winding road. Some days, our thoughts are more like a frantic freeway where things are passing so fast and so many different spaces that it's hard to be able to identify that. And that's totally okay. Just stop, breathe, and accept where you are and do the best that you can in that moment. Sometimes, when engaging in this skill, all we can see are the headlights of our thought cars. Maybe our emotions or the outside world just isn't letting us focus the way that we want to. Other times, when we haven't had our coffee yet, or we're tired, or maybe even sick, our thoughts seem to pass a lot slower, as if they're stuck in thought car traffic. There are also times when our minds fixate on one specific thought. Similar to a dog chasing after that thought car, our minds won't allow us to deviate from that thought. Our minds are such beautifully complex spaces that are constantly giving and accepting information from the world around us and our own bodies. So every time we practice this skill, we might see it a little differently. And that's the joy of mindfulness, being able to see and accept and enjoy the space that we're in. By practicing observing our own thoughts and seeing what we are thinking, we can then identify our feelings, learn to embrace change. We can water the roots that we choose to while still acknowledging the others are out there and finding gratitude in it all. Next episode, we will add components to the skill that we learned today. We will recognize negative thought habits and replace them with positive ones. Thank you for joining us today. And remember, be kind to yourself, to others, and to the journey.